If you cannot impress them with intelligence, baffle them with bullshit. Mark A.G. Brantley.
Mark Brantley,
Yes.
Minister of Tourism for Nevis. We're down here in London at Shoreditch House. We've just had a talk to some journalists and local press about Nevis. One of the things you were talking about, which we thought was very interesting, is obviously Nevis and its green credentials. I just wondered if you could talk us through some of the things that are happening.
Well, we think Nevis is a very special place. Obviously, that's why we're here in London, to try and spread that word and to ask the media here to help us in spreading that word. And one of those things that we think sets Nevis apart is its green credentials, as you put it. Nevis now has the only wind farm in the Eastern Caribbean that's functional and is providing power into our grid. We have signed a contract for a waste-to-energy plant, and that will be coupled with a solar plant. But when that is completed at the end of this year, it will mean that fully 1/3 of Nevis's daily power usage is generated by renewables. That in and of itself is remarkable. But in addition to that, Nevis has geothermal energy. The exploration phase has been done. We're now at the stage of production, and we're being told by the developers that if the science holds true, then Nevis by 2018 will wean itself entirely off fossil fuels. And it means that our entire power supply come 2018 will be by renewables. That really is a compelling story. It sets Nevis apart in terms of just where we are in the Caribbean, where we are in the world. I like to say that by 2018 we'll be the greenest place on planet Earth. And that for me is a very compelling story about sustainability and about the people trying to live with the environment in a sustainable way. And so we feel that that's a responsible thing to do, to leave our island and our country and our region better than we met it, and that is Nevis's contribution. And so we're very proud of that. And of course we expect that that will have its own spin-offs. If the science holds true, because we're being told by the scientists that we have potentially between 150 to 400 megawatts of available geothermal energy. Now if that holds true, just to put it in context for you, Nevis at peak is only about 10 megawatts. And St. Kitts at peak, our sister island, is only about 40 megawatts. So it means that if we can generate 150 megawatts of geothermal energy, we have potential to supply not only all of Nevis, but all of St. Kitts with energy left over. And that energy we hope to be able to unsell to neighboring islands, because where we are geographically means that we have easy access to St. Barts, to Anguilla, to St. Martin, to Antigua, and to all those little islands around us, Saba, Statia, and those islands. So potentially, Nevis can become a net exporter of energy to these islands, and as I like to say, the Norway of the Eastern Caribbean. And so that is a dimension that we're very excited about.
I mean, I've actually experienced Nevis, was I'm very, very lucky. And I mean, the first thing I noticed about the island was, you know, you're already running the island very differently to a lot of other places. I mean, you mentioned before in your speech that there's no fast food restaurants allowed on the island.
Yes.
There's strict restrictions on building in terms of height.
Absolutely. The rule of thumb is a coconut palm. We don't allow you to go higher than a coconut palm. And anything about a 1,000-foot contour, we don't allow building above what we call the buildable line. And so the idea is to keep Nevis pristine and to ensure that our towering mountain, which is literally in the middle of the island, that remains pristine and forested and green and beautiful and capped with clouds as it normally is, as opposed to it simply becoming populated with concrete. And so we're very firm about that in terms of what we do. Some view it as a little quirky. We don't have any street lights or traffic lights, but we think that it's part and parcel of the charm and appeal of an island doing its best in an ever-changing world to remain true to its ethos and true to the Caribbean sentiment that we feel is also important.
Well, it sounds like it's going to be even more special, and the tagline "Nevis naturally" couldn't be any more appropriate.
Yes, well, Nevis naturally is not just a tagline, it's how we live, it's what we promote, and we say it because we mean it, and that is who we are. And so we're natural in terms of the warmth and reception you get from our people, we're natural in terms of the natural environment, and we're doing what we can to use our natural resources to burnish those credentials and to ensure that our little island remains unsurpassed in the Caribbean.
Well, thanks very much for your time today. We wish you all the best, and we look forward to seeing how Nevis develops.
Good, thank you very much. And just to point out to your potential viewers that London has gotten warm since we're here, and so we brought some Nevis sunshine for the good people of the United Kingdom.
Thank you. We definitely want more of that.
Thank you very much.
If you cannot impress them with intelligence, baffle them with bullshit. Mark A.G. Brantley.